Osha.
What is going on, everybody? Osha God here, and today we are here back with another deck tech review where I review decks that I've built myself and in paper as well. Um, I've been really busy doing a lot of decks recently, and this one specifically, I have the jump scare precon with Zimone. Basically, it's a landfall manifest deck. And I wasn't really playing with it, and I didn't really like it as much. So I took it apart and I added cards from just stuff that I had just on the in binders or in boxes or things that I've opened up. So a lot of it is a combination between the jump scare deck and the also cards from Marvel, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and the Lorwyn, not Lorwyn. Oh my gosh, Strixhaven, the new Strixhaven set, the newest one. So it's a lot of that, and then a lot of other stuff that I found randomly. But before we get to that, let's hear from. This video is also brought to you by Gerudo. Gerudo is an online gaming platform where you can play TCGs like Magic the Gathering, Lurkana, Cataclysm Arcade, Riftbound Legends, and Once Upon a Galaxy. You can also check out our creator page filled with a bunch of amazing Magic the Gathering and other content creators on the platform, including myself. You can also check out the creators and other content like shorts, art, and other featured content, including podcasts as well and blogs. And here you can meet the community's rising talent on Gerudo. Plenty of amazing creators are here. You can also check out our lobby and other games that you've created as well. So check out Gerudo for your next game, as you are never alone and we are better together. Now back to the video. All right, so let's get started. So first of all, we have our Commander Tam, Observant Sequencer, and also the Prepared Ability Deep Sight. Basically, she's a landfall commander, so whenever a land you control enters, she becomes prepared, and then you can pay Simic or I guess Quandrix in this case, and you can draw a card and gain a life. So pretty cool. I like what she does, and she's about the same cost as Zimone anyways, but you do get the added sorcery spell in it. Of course, next we have, I don't know why it didn't load, Arcane Signet, which adds a 1 mana of any color in your commander's color identity. Then we have Simic Signet, pay 1, tap, and you can add Simic colors. Of course, Soul Ring, Staples. And then I added Vibranium Energy Dagger since I have a bunch of them. So I've added just whatever I had to the deck. So that is all of our artifacts. Next, we'll get to our creatures. We have a lot of them, and we have AC Tyrant of Gyre Strait. Um, and you can play with this card. You can play additional land on each of your turns. It also has landfall ability, so whenever a land you control enters, you may draw a card. So you're benefiting. You're drawing cards. You're getting life uh from Tam, and you're also, like I said, you're on cards and you're getting more lands on the field. So lots of lands are coming. And before you know it, you'll have a bunch of lands. So that's how that will work. And then Ancient Green Warden with Reach. I can play lands from the graveyard. So if I discard anything, or if something happens with or lands are going in the graveyard, I can play them from my graveyard. So pretty cool. Reach, so we can hit flying creatures. Um, and then if it causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. So you're stacking triggers with just the commander and the 2 creatures we already seen. It's completely It's completely nuts, man. I'm telling you. I tested it out, and we'll do a test after I review all the deck and everything. We'll do like a 5 turn test, but I beat 3 of my other decks because I play on another site. So basically, what I do is test all my decks out. Lately, if I get really bored, I'll put like 4 different decks at once, and then kind of play how I would play if I was playing against an opponent. But anyways, that's just a sidebar. But we'll get to we'll get to more of that maybe at the end where we're doing a play test. But next is Ant-Man, Colony Commander. Whenever he attacks, you may pay 1, and when you do, you put a 1/1 counter on target creature. And whenever you put a 1/1 counter on a creature, create a 1/1 green insect creature token. This ability triggers once each turn. Unless, I guess with the other one, it would trigger additional time. Ashaya, Soul of the Wild. Um, Power toughness are equal to the number of lands you control. So you have a bunch of lands. Ugh, scary creature. Non-token creatures you control are forest lands in addition to their other types. So there are still some affected by summoning sickness, so there's that as well. We have Augur of Autumn. I may look at the top card of my library anytime. You may play lands from the top of your library. And it has Coven. As long as you control 3 or more creatures with different powers, you may cast creature spells from the top of your library. So we're also casting creatures from the top of our library as well. So, and then Sentinel uh Hierophants. Creatures you control have tap, add green mana. Then we have Keyboy Colony with Flash, flying and trample, and that has increment. So whenever you cast a spell, if the amount of mana spent is more than the creature's power or toughness, you put a 1/1 counter on creature. So if you get some big mana costs, it'll help this one also get more not many encounters, but more counters and get stronger and everything like that. Then we have Emil Vaslin's Roamer. Creatures you control with +1/+1 counters, all of them have trample. So, for example, if we cast a larger spell with Keyboard Colony, we also have Emil on the field, on the battlefield as well. Um, Keyboard Colony will also get trample, but it already has trample, so basically double trample. But there's that, and then you could pay 4 and a green mana, tap it, and you create a fractal token, and then you put X11 counters on it where the number of differently named lands you control. Oh, sorry about that. I don't know why I clicked out of it. Sorry about that. Anyways, next up is our environmental scientist. When this creature enters, you may search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it into your hand, and then shuffle. Next, we have Geometer's Arthropod. It's a fractal crab. Whenever you cast a spell with X in its mana cost, look at the top X cards of your library. Put one of them in your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So that's pretty cool. Then we have Gorilla. With Reach, you can sacrifice it, destroy target non-creature artifact or non-creature enchantment out, activate only as a sorcery. So that's sorcery speed, basically. All right, and then the next one is Herbie Scout Unit, flying, and when it enters, you draw a card, and you can put a land card from your hand on the battlefield tab. So another way to get lands on the field. Next is Harmonized Trio. You can tap it and tap 2 untapped creatures you control. This creature becomes prepared, and then basically you can use Brainstorm, which you can draw 3 cards, then put 2 cards from from your hand on the top of your library in any order. So it's a way to manipulate it. If you need a land, land drop, tap them, and then get the land, put it on, and then you can play lands to the top of your deck with other creatures. Pretty cool. Then we have Jadzi, Steward of Fate. She enters prepared, and when she enters, draw 2 cards to discard 2 cards. So going back to Ancient Green Warden, if I'm discarding lands, I can play the lands from my graveyard onto the battlefield, especially with AC as well. So if I don't have a land, then I can play another land that I discarded. So in a way, the strategy with this is you can basically put like 2 lands in your graveyard and then you play both of them on the same turn with if you have every of the other creatures on the field. And then with the prepared ability, sorcery oracle's gift, you can basically create for tokens. X is however many how much mana you spend into it, and that's how many counters you'll put on the fractal. Knight of Wendigore has trample. Whenever you put a 1/1 counter on another creature, put a 1/1 counter on this creature. This ability triggers only once each turn, and again, it works with the other ones as well. So it kind of they're all benefiting in a sense. Then we have Matter Bending Mage. When this creature enters, return up to one target creature to its owner's hand. So it's a good way to get creatures off the field, get someone's battlefield wide open, and just slap them for some damage, you know? And then whenever you cast a spell with X in the mana cost, this creature can't be blocked this turn. So this also blocked. So it can't be blocked. So that's even better. We actually have Mindful Biomancer. When it enters, you gain a life. You can pay 2 and a green, and it gets 2/2 until end of turn, and then you activate once each turn. So pretty cool. We have good old Death Touch, Noxious Newt, and you can tap it and add 1 green. We have Paradox Surveyor with Reach. When it enters, you can look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal a land card or a card with X in its mana cost from among them, and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Now you have Terrafractal. It enters with X 1/1 counters on it. When it enters, you gain 2 life. It also has flying. This was actually the strategy what I was saying earlier. This creature actually was that in Ashaya. That's what got me to win against myself, basically. But yeah. Then we have Kyrion Ranger. Return a forest you control to its owner's hand. Untap target creature. Activate only once each turn. So for this, the way that when I was playtesting, what I did with this is because I was testing with 4 different decks at the same time, and one of my decks was just slapping people or slapping the other one for damage. It was my Senet deck, so a lot of flyers. So what I did was I returned a forest card that I had on the battlefield back to my hand and untapped one of my opponent's creatures to help um, try to take down the other player. So it's a good way to do that as well. And you could do it. I'm pretty sure you could do it on anybody's turn, so even your own. So pretty cool. Good old Sakurai Tribe Elder. Sacrifice it. You get a land card, basic land card. Put on the battlefield tapped, and then shuffle. Then we have Shigeki Jukai Visionary. You pay 1 and a green, tap, return Shigeki Jukai Visionary to its owner's hand. Reveal the top 4 cards of your library. You may put a land card from among them onto the battlefield, tapped. Put the rest into the graveyard, and then you can channel for X, 2X, and 2 green. You can discard him, return X non-legendary cards from your graveyard to your hand. So pretty cool. Next is Spellbook Seeker with flying. This teacher enters prepared. Draw 2 cards and then discard 2 cards with its careful study sorcery ability. Pretty cool. Another flyer. Kind of help you block for other flyers. So pretty cool. Studious first year. Enters prepared. And basically, it's a rampant growth. So you can pay 1 and a green, search your library for a basic land, put it onto the battlefield tapped, and then shuffle. Next is Tatyova, Benthenic Druid. Also has landfall. When a land you control enters, you may gain 1. I mean, not you may gain life. Oh my god. You gain 1 life and draw a card. So you're drawing cards. Again, it's pretty cool. You're just drawing cards. You get benefit from land. Yeah, that's just it, man. You know. Next is Tester of the Chin It has increment when you cast a spell. Mana cost is greater. You put a 1/1 counter. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you may pay X, where if you do, move X 1/1 counters from this creature onto a target creature. So you're moving counters. You're benefiting. Like there's so many creatures that are benefiting from each other. So, and that's the point of the deck, obviously. But I just kind of make things explained in a way where it's kind of a beginner friendly. In a sense, is also I'm happy to answer any questions you have, as well as I am sort of new. I've been playing it for over a year, so like I said, if you ever need any help or anybody in chat, or not in chat, but any in the comments want any tips or advice, I'd be happy to try to help as much as I can. But yeah, textbook tabulator, when it enters, you surveil two, and then also has increments of the same thing, less or more, or sorry, less than the power toughness. You can add the 1/1 counters to it. The Astonishing Ant-Man. Whenever you draw a card, you put a 1/1 counter on the Astonishing Ant-Man. You pay 2 and a green, tap, remove any number of counters, and then you create that many green instant tokens. Next is Topiary Lecturer. Also increment the same thing with Cubic Colony and the previous. Same thing. I don't really want to explain the same thing over and over, but try to explain it in a way where people can try to sort of understand and kind of get what what each card does. And you can add amount of green equal to this creature's power. So if you're getting this creature's getting counters upon counters put on it, basically it's just gonna you'll be able to get a lot of mana from it. So that's pretty cool. Next is Vastland Scavenger. I believe this is the last creature card. It has Death Touch, and this creature enters prepared, and basically it's an instant bind to life. You mill 7 cards and put a creature card from among them onto the battlefield. So again, if we're milling 7 cards, we get a creature, we put on the battlefield, and then again, if lands are in the graveyard, we can play lands from the graveyard. It's there you go, pretty much. Next is our enchantments. We got Encroaching Dragonstorm. When it enters, search your library for up to 2 basic lands, put on the battlefield, shuffle. Then when a dragon you control enters, the return enchantment to its owner's hand. I don't have any dragons, so it's going to be staying on the field. So that's pretty cool. Ever watching Threshold? Whenever an opponent attacks, if they attacked you and or Planeswalker you control, you draw a card. Pretty cool. And we have Ride the Shoe Puff. It's the same thing. Landfall. You put on counter on target creature. Pay 5 and 2 green. This enchantment because of 7/7 beast creature, in addition to its other types. So that's pretty cool. Turn to a creature. Training regimen. The great creatures control with 1/1 counters on them have trample. Works out with the other ones. At the beginning of your combat on your turn, put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control. Next is Wilderness Reclamation. At the beginning of your end step, untap all lands you control. So pretty cool. Next we have Brush Off. It's our instance. And it costs 1 a blue less to cast if it targets an instant sorcery, and you counter the target spell. Crop Rotation. Anytime you play Crop Rotation, you sacrifice the land. Then you search for a library for a land, and put it into play. Shuffle your library afterward. So that means any land. It doesn't mean basics. It means any land. So there's that, and then we have Efflorescence. Sorry. Put 2 woman counters on target creature. If you gain life this turn, the creature gains trample indestructible to end a turn with its infusion ability. Next, we have Essence Scatter. You count just basic counter target spell. Eureka Moment. You draw 2 cards. You put a land card from your hand on the battlefield. Glorious Decay, you choose one, destroy target artifact, 4 damage to creature with flying, or exile a card from graveyard and you draw a card. Growth Spiral, draw a card, put a land card on the battlefield. Harrow, additional cost, sacrifice a land. Search your library for up to 2 basic lands, put them on the battlefield. Shuffle. Potioner's Gaze. Return up to 1 target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Search your library for a basic land, put on the battlefield, tapped, then shuffle. Next, quick study to our 2 cards. Pretty interesting. Tenderize. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature and opponent controls. Sorry. Next, we'll do our lands: Botanical Sanctum, Command Tower, Fabled Passage, Flooded Grove, Forest, 12, 14 of the forests, 1 Hinterland Harbor, 8 islands, Paradox Gardens, Pim Technologies, Quandix Campus, Reliquary Tower, Simcoe Chamber, Silence Room, Chermo for Expense, or Thornwood Falls, Fine Glimmer Snarl, and then we last but not least we get to our sorceries. Call damage control, choose up to 2, turn those cards from the graveyard to your hand, target artifact, creature, enchantment, or land card. You can pick 2 out of those. Chelonian Tackle, target creature gets 0+10 to end turn, then it fights up to 1 target creature an opponent controls. So that would be good for Wolverine or like Ruick, Storm, like like for a Gruul deck maybe, something that where it attacks and it has to fight up to 1 creature type thing. So, but we have it for fun. Or you could cultivate. You search your library up for 2 basic land cards, reveal those cards, put one onto the battlefield tapped and the other in your hand, and then you shuffle. Explosive Vegetation. Search your library for up to 2 basic lands, put on the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. Flow State. Look at the top 3 cards of your library, put one on your hand, the rest on the bottom. If there's an instant card, sorcery card in your graveyard, instead put 2 of them in your hand, and then the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. Okay, cool. Growth curve. You basically put a 1 counter on a target creature. Double the number of counters on it after that. Mind and Matter, draw X cards. Then we put a permanent card with mana value X or less from your hand onto the battlefield tapped. Oracle's Restoration. Target creature you control gets 1/1 until end of turn. You draw a card. You draw a card and you gain a life. Procrastinate. Tap target creature. Put twice X stun counters on it. Pretty cool. And then Rampant Grove. Search your library for basic land. Put it on the battlefield. Tap. Then shuffle. Sleight of hand. Look at the top 2 cards of your library. One of them, put one of them in your hand, and the other in the bottom. And last but not least, Simone's Experiment. Look at the top 5 of your cards of your library. You may reveal up to 2 creature and/or land cards from among them in any random order, and then put the rest on the bottom in any order. If all lands revealed this way to the battlefield tapped, and put all creatures card revealed this way into your hand. All right, so that's the entire deck. Let's see how it plays out, kind of. I have too many lands in this one. What am I doing? To say, well, okay. Let's restart that. Sorry. Okay, I guess we'll just work with the 3 lands. I don't. It's fine. All right. So turn 1, you play a land. I'll play another land. And then the next turn, let's see. Oh, okay, there we go. All right, and then you put a land, and now you got 4 lands. So green, blue, and then Tim. Next. Then you attack your opponent. You draw a card, you get a life. Basically, that's the whole premise of it, but yeah. Anyways, that is going to be it for me for this video. I do hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked the video, feel free to like, comment, and also subscribe. Subscribe down below to see more of my content and to catch up with my videos and get notifications when I do post the next video. Anyways, I will see you guys in the next one. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And remember, you guys are all Oshawott approved. Bye.